Good morning, dear students. Yesterday I have completed chapter 1 revision, food, where does it come from, and today I will take revision from chapter 2, and name of the chapter 2 is the components of food. Name of the chapter 2 is the components of food. Introduction. As the importance of food, it is required for growth and maintenance of the body, and also to protect us from diseases. That we eat a large variety of foods, and people from different parts of our country have different food items. Some people prefer rice, others like chapatis, meat and fish. And in this chapter we shall learn about the components of food. So different components are there are seven essential components in our food, that is called the nutrients, and that is the carbohydrate, fats, proteins, mineral salts, vitamins, water and roughage. These seven components are very essential, and this is called the nutrients. So first activity is the to show the presence of proteins in food. How we will know that proteins are present in our food? What do you need for this activity? Which things are needed? That is the raw egg or any other protein sample, and copper sulfate, blue vitriol, and solution caustic soda and test tube. So how to do the test? How you will do the test? So take egg white in water in a test tube and add 2-3 drops of copper sulfate solution and 10 to 12 drops of caustic soda solution, and shake well. And after that, what do you observe? A purple or violet color indicates the presence of proteins in the given sample. Preparation of copper solution. Dissolve 2 grams of copper sulfate in 10 ml of water, and preparation of caustic soda solution, that is the dissolve 10 grams of caustic soda in 100 ml of water. And second activity is the to show the presence of sugar or glucose in food. What materials are needed? And crushed piece of potatoes, glucose solution, Bendick solution, and test tube and burner. How to do the test? How you will do the test? First, 2 crushed pieces of potato and apple and glucose solution in 3 separate test tube, and add a few drop of Benedict solution in each test tube, and gently heat. And after that, what you will observe? You will observe that the test tube containing crushed apple and glucose solution turn into a red precipitate. No such change occur in the test tube containing potato. So formation of red precipitate indicates the presence of sugar, and the test also indicates that potato does not contain sugar. So we can say that. Now next activity 3, to test the presence of starch in food. What do you need? Slice of bread or potato, iodine solution, dropper. And how to do the test? Place a drop of iodine solution on the food sample. What do you observe? Blue black color where iodine solution is applied, indicating the presence of starch. And preparation of iodine solution. Take tincture iodine solution from first aid box in your school in test tube and dilute it by adding water. Iodine solution is ready for use. Activity 4. To show the presence of fats in our food. What do you need? Butter or a drop of oil, piece of white paper. How to do the test? Rub a small amount of butter on the paper or put a drop of oil on the paper. Let the paper dry. Hold it in front of a source of light, and what do you observe? You will observe the paper becomes smooth, oily and less transparent. Kerosene and petrol can make paper transparent, but these are not food materials as do not contain fat. Activity 5. To demonstrate the presence of water in food. What do you need? Food sample, fresh potatoes, slice and spinach, leaves, petri dish, balance weight. How to do the test? Take equal weights of 2 samples in separate dishes and keep these dishes in an oven at 80 to 90 degrees Celsius or in sunlight for a few days. and weight the food sample again. What do you observe? There is a reduction in weight of two samples, loss of water has taken place. And now come to the carbohydrate. What is the carbohydrates? These are the these are the common energy giving components, and food rich in carbohydrates are potato, sweet potato, bread, rice, wheat, honey, common sugar, jaggery, and milk. And most processed food like pizza, burger, jams, jellies, and noodles are rich in carbohydrates. Fats. Fats are also energy giving foods. Fats are also energy giving foods, and this is provide more energy in comparison to the carbohydrate. Fats provide more energy in comparison to the carbohydrates. So fat rich foods are milk products such as butter, cheese, vegetable oils such as coconut oil, ground nut oil, nuts, milk, and animal fat from meat. And fat provides more than double the energy provided by carbohydrates or proteins. And proteins, these are the bodybuilding foods. Proteins help the body in its growth and repair of body cells and tissues, protect and help the body to fight against infections and regulate body functions. Protein sources of plant origin include pulses, soybean, peas, and to lesser extent cereals, meat, eggs, cheese, milk, and fish provide proteins of animal origin. Mineral salts. What is the mineral salts? Mineral salts are important for various body functions. They are required in small quantities and are obtained from the food we take in. And minerals have no energy value. Minerals have no energy value. Rich sources are milk, cheese, green leafy vegetables like spinach, pulses, meat, and eggs. And salts of calcium and phosphorus are required for making bones and teeth hard and for the promoting blood clotting in our body. And our iron is essential for forming hemoglobin and a component of our blood, the deficiency of which causes anemia. Green leafy vegetables, eggs, groundnuts, and liver are good sources of iron. And iodine, another mineral, controls the functioning of an important gland, that is the thyroid. That is deficiency of iodine leads to goiter. If iodine is not there in our diet, then it leads to the goiter. And iodized salt, fish, and seafood are the sources of this mineral. Vitamins. Vitamins are neither bodybuilding nor energy giving foods but are very important for proper functioning of our bodies. They are required by the body in very small quantities. Green leafy vegetables, fruits, milk, eggs, and cheese are rich in vitamins. Water. Water is indispensable, and about 70% of our body weight is that of water, and it helps the body in various functions. It is means of transporting substances in the organism, and it helps to maintain a constant body temperature. Water helps in absorption of food and excretion of waste products from the body, and our body needs 2 to 3 liters water every day. Rough fiber is found in vegetables, fruit, beans, and cereals, and it has no nutritive value. Then also it is very important, but prevent constipation and is necessary for proper functioning of the digestive system. So we can say that roughage is also very important, and it has no nutritive value, but it helps in the digestion. Ideally, our food contains sufficient energy giving foods like carbohydrates and fats, bodybuilding or growth promoting foods, protective foods, vitamins, and minerals. Food thus on the basis of their role in body are classified into 3 major foods as energy giving, bodybuilding, and protective foods. So no single food components provide all the things in the diet. So food groups like energy giving foods are cereals, wheat, rice, maize, sugar, jaggery, potato, sweet potato, honey, oils, and fats. Bodybuilding foods, milk, pulses, cheese, eggs, fish, meat. Protective foods are fruits, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cauliflower, other vegetables, carrot, tomato, milk, eggs. And balanced diet. What is the balanced diet? A diet contain all the nutrients in the proper quantities is known as the balanced diet. Food, a balanced meal contain all the nutrients in their diet. It should be in proper quantity. So balanced diet are energy giving foods and body building foods and are protective foods. And so basic food groups is the milk group and pulses and meat group and bread and cereal group and fruits and vegetable soup. And what is the midday meal program? What is the MTM, midday meal program? The midday meal program is also called school lunch or school meal program. The aim of this program is to provide additional meal to the children studying in primary classes, and the diet of these children often lack in essential components of food. The purpose of MDM is to provide such a meal which will overcome the deficiencies in their diet at homes. In rural areas, many children come to school partially hungry and some come with empty stomach. So MDM is useful in the proper growth and development of such children. Midday meal program in every school for the primary classes, this program is there, and in this they provide all the balanced meal, all the proper every day. They provide fruits, vegetables, and other day they divided into 7 days. This day they will provide this one, this day they will provide this one. So means it should contains proteins, vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates. According to that, midday program is there, and some rural areas, some children coming with partially hungry and some are coming with empty stomach. So for that children, that MDM program is there, and it is very good, and this program is very very good for the children, and it is very famous among the schools. And MDM is provide foods, good foods to the children. So those who are coming from the rural areas, they are also getting the nutritious diet.